This episode has been brought to you by The Mix, Fine Dining and Entertainment, and Donnie D's Soul Sundays, Saturday 6 p.m., 9 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, everybody. It's me, Franklin Donnie D. You might know me from Donnie D's Words of Wisdom, Donnie D's Soul Sundays, and right here at the Behind the Curtain Show, Pasadena Media. First of all, I'd like to welcome back to the show Eric Bailey and Marsha Dees. Glad to have you guys back. Things weren't right without you. But right now, I have a young man with me that used to be right here where I'm sitting doing big things in this world. Richard Wilson. How you doing, Richard?
I'm great, Donnie D. Glad to be here.
All right, all right. Well, before we get started, Richard, tell the people just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm a former LA bail bondsman. I worked in 3 of the busiest bail bond agencies in LA during the time. And what brought me into the bail bond business was that it was an entrepreneur type of environment that I thought would be beneficial to me. So when I got into it, I ended up becoming a writer.
Okay. And I bet in that business, you saw all kinds of stories to write about, right?
Exactly.
Well, moving into that, you have a new book out.
Yes, I do.
Tell us the title and tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, the book is called 77 and Broadway, A Decade in the World of Crime. And the story is about a conniving, struggling LA bail bondsman who, out of desperation, is trying to save his business. And he hires a small-time hustler with a shady past to help him out. Now, all of this happens during the advent of the cocaine epidemic that hit LA and a whole bunch of other cities across the United States during the time. Now, as the story unravels, we get introduced to 25 different true event crime stories. And these crime stories make up the actual 77 and Broadway collection of stories. Now, these stories bring in an array of unscrupulous individuals. We have all types of criminals, cutthroats, thugs, con men and women, all who will make you laugh, they will make you cry, some you will hate, some you will love, but that's what makes up 77 and Broadway.
Okay, now, the title is 77th and Broadway. I'm from Los Angeles. Some of these people here from LA. Why 77th and Broadway?
Because we were right down the street from 77th Precinct, okay? And so 77th Precinct at the time was one of the busiest precincts in LA for crime. It was like a circus going in and out, and had bail bondsmen all up and down the street. So it had at least 10 bail bond agencies in that one block.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Well, now, I'm going to just get into the book a little bit without giving it away. Now, you say he took upon a scrupulous partner. Tell us a little bit about that character.
Okay, the small-time hustler.
The small-time hustler.
Right, okay. So he took on the 2 main characters in the book is Wilbert Buck, he's the owner, and Richie V. Smooth is the small-time hustler who jumped into the bail bonds business. Well, Richie had a lifestyle of hustling under the radar. He wasn't doing anything big, just like small-time hustling, and he wanted to change his ways because he started seeing that some of his friends were getting killed or going to prison, and he wanted to come out with another way, and he felt like the bail bonds business would be great because since he knew a lot of criminals, maybe he can help them get out of jail when it happens. And so that was his motive for jumping into the bail bonds business. But as the story evolves, he found out that the motive he got into the business was for the wrong reason, and he ended up making a career change, and he had a revelation that made him a different person.
Okay. Good. Sounds like a good read. Now, you say there's different stories that are in this book.
Yes.
Can you just give us a little bit about what kind of stories to look forward to in this book?
Well, they all entwining stories. They're unrelated, but they're all about individuals who come and go in the bail bond office. So Richie Smooth and Buck, they're main characters. They'll deal with some of the characters that come in. Sometimes Buck is the only one that is in the story. Sometimes Richie's in the story. So they have stories about maybe a drug gang get busted. So they come in, Some of them mad, some of them, want to get out for free.
Right.
Then we get con women, con men. We have women criminals too, So
Do we?
Yes. So we have an array of different characters that come and go through the office. And then it makes the story interesting because you get to see how the bail bond business works. Then you see how the neighborhood is. Like 77 and Broadway, at that time, it was a rough neighborhood, but the people who worked in the office at the bail bond office, they treated it as their home. They wanted to make the neighborhood better.
Right.
That's the whole point of the story, to show how, even though the area was rough, but there was a family of community interaction that made the people have love for each other.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a really interesting read because, I've dealt with bail bondsmen in the past myself, but then I was told that bail bondsmen go by different laws than the police and the sheriff. That some of them go by the laws from back in the 1800s. Is this true?
No.
No? Okay.
Bail bondsmen have to adhere to there's the bail bond code. You have to have a license to be a bail bondsman, and you have a certain amount of collateral you can take. It's like, and even now, what happens with some bail bondsmen, they have their own bounty hunters. Now they can work outside the law.
Okay.
They can do things the policemen can't do.
That's what I meant.
And so we have some scenes in there. We have a real colorful bounty hunter. And he's a white guy. He's known for going into the projects.
Oh.
Okay? And so he has a crew of black and white bounty hunters with him. He does a lot of stuff that just breaks the law all the way around, but he gets the job done.
Okay. Now your character, what's the main character's name again?
Okay, the main character, Wilbert Buck, he's the bail bond owner. He owns the agency. And Richie V. Smooth is his apprentice, so to speak, the little hustler who works there with him.
Now, where did you get these characters from?
Well, the book
Anybody you know?
Well, like I said, the book is built on a lot of true incidents,
Okay.
true events, but it's a fictional story. But,
Okay.
it's a story I created, and it's come from the fact that when I worked in the agency, the owner at the time, he even encouraged me to be a writer. And so, he told me stories about some of the stories that's in the book. He actually told me about the stories because we had a Rolodex full of all of the people who came and gone through the bail bond agency, and we have a record of what they've done. And so some of those records, we were able to make stories out of them.
Okay. Now, do you see in the future doing a part 2 to this, or maybe a screenplay out of this, or take it any further?
Well, right now we have some film companies looking at the story, and as far as some next stories to come out, I do have some other stories coming out of that particular era that would be, I guess, would back up the bail bond story after Richie leaves the bail bond agency. If he does leave the agency, we have other stories that we can build on.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. A lot of people really don't know that business until you need it. I didn't need it, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Until you need it, and and I can imagine the stories and the things that you've seen in that business that that you put into those stories. Tell us, what in the whole book, in your opinion, what is the most exciting part that we can look forward to without giving it away? Just tell something I can say, oh yeah, he said that on TV.
I think one of the good stories you can bring out of the book itself is when Richie got an awakening about why he should change his lifestyle. I think that was an awakening. A lot of people don't really realize they're doing something wrong until something really happens. And, some people have to go to penitentiary 20 years to realize they made a mistake rather than catching that mistake before it goes forward. But let me mention this also about the bail bond business because of the fact that California is trying to outlaw the bail bond business.
I've heard that, yes.
Right,
Tell us a little
right.
bit about that.
So right now, most bail bondsmen, they take a 10% collateral. They can take less if they want. Some bail bondsmen take only exclusively residential property. Some takes, like my bail bondsman in the story, he takes everything of collateral. He takes golf clubs, bicycles, fur coats, TVs, anything of value.
Anything of value.
Right. But it's beneficial to the community because a lot of people in the community, don't have homes. They have cars they want to put up, but it helps them, if they made a small mistake, they can get out of jail and keep going to work and have their job. Because you can lose your job going to jail, and you don't have, especially if you do something like having traffic warrants, and you can't get out for like 6 weeks till the warrants are paid, what happened? You lose your job. So
right.
the story talks about how, we treat people with dignity and decency so they can, be a part of the community also.
Okay. Now, just to hit on that for a minute, is there a reason why you think California is doing it? Are they trying to put more money somewhere else, or you think they're trying to? Do you have a personal opinion why California might be doing that?
Well, I've been keeping up with that particular initiative that's coming up. A lot of states don't even have bail bondsmen.
Okay.
Like in Chicago, Detroit, you have to go through the courts. The courts bail you out.
Oh.
And so California sees that rather than have a bail bondsman as the middleman, you can just put him out the way and let individuals go straight to the courts and bail out. And it's kind of like it's a 50-50 way of looking at it, because they say that only the rich can afford bail.
Yeah.
If you got $1 million bail and you're a person of color, it's hard to say you're going to come up with $100,000,
Right.
and you don't get that $100,000 back.
Right.
So what the courts doing right now, it's been working. They have a plan what they're doing right now. They're letting individuals bail themselves, bail out on trust. And it's been working 90% of the time, that people are really paying the 10%, going to court, doing what they have to do, and come back out. Matter of fact, there's a business called Project Bail, and they are doing a lot of things to help people get out of jail who don't have the money to do so.
Yeah, because you're right. Somebody gets in some trouble, and they have to go to mama to sign over her house,
Right,
to get you out of jail, and then you get out, and then you might get convicted and go right back to jail. What happens to mama's house in the meantime?
okay. We have stories like that too. So what happens is this: the house is tied up as long as the person is going to court.
Okay.
Well, let's say the guy you mentioning right here, he gets scared because he may end up going to prison.
Right.
And goes and leaves town and goes to Alabama somewhere. And so now his mom has a good chance of losing her house. Because what happens is if we don't catch this guy within the allotted time, which is like 6 months, then the house can go into foreclosure, they can lose their house, things like that can happen. So that's when bounty hunters come into play. You're gonna look for the guy, bring him back in, and save the person's house.
Yeah, that's a tough
Right.
one. Now, 77th and Broadway.
Right.
Is the book out yet?
The book's release date is December the 9th. So put that on your calendar. December the 9th, the book comes out. Will be a big promotion coming out. Right now, we are doing advanced copy reviews. We've been getting some good reviews on the book, with people like Publishers Weekly, Book Life. They gave us really good reviews.
Okay.
We have other book reviewers who are saying, giving us it's entertaining. It's a book that you would really have fun reading.
Okay, now, with that in mind, is there any websites or any place that we can go to look up your books and books that you've done in the past and find out a little bit about you?
You sure can. Matter of fact, you can go to my website. It's richardwills, WILLS.net. That's my author website. It's a lot of information about the book there. Also, we'll be on Amazon.com. I have a Facebook page with 77 and Broadway. So we're doing that, and the book you'll be able to find a book at other fine bookstores like Books A Million and Barnes & Noble also.
Okay. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't get that, get me, Franklin Donnie D, and I guarantee that I'll get you Richard's information. Before we go, Richard, I know that you've got some other books that you put out there. Can you tell us? Because, somebody might say, read 77 Broadway and say, man, I like this guy's style. What else he got out?
Right, yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that. I do have 2 books that are currently on the market right now. I've published 7 books total, but the 2 that are still on the market, one is called Suffer No More, and it's a book about how to relieve yourself of stress, anxiety, and depression without medicine.
Okay.
And it's all about using the Word of God.
Amen.
And it helps you to get revitalized, matter of fact, without even using medicine. So that book has been a pretty good seller also. And the second book I have out, it's on the same kind of guidelines. It's called The World's Greatest Treasury of Bible Scriptures. This is a good uplifting book. It has a bunch of group of Bible scriptures that have to do with if you're depressed, if you're feeling down and out, if you need some encouragement, if you need to pick me up, then you can. That book will be helpful for you.
Okay. Now, I'm going to have another quick question for you. Do you think that your spirituality had something to do with the way that you handled that job in the community? Because it sounds to me that you're a man of spirituality, man of God, a man that has deep feelings. Do you think that really came into play when it came to dealing with the community?
Yes, it did, because at the time when I became a bail bondsman, I didn't live in the area. Okay. And so the bail bondsman thought that was a plus, because he thought that because since I didn't live in the area and came from out of the area, I would have a different outlook on the people in the neighborhood. I wouldn't judge them by who they were. I would judge them by how he wanted to treat them. And so my spirituality did have a lot to do with it, because I tried to help everybody who came through the office.
All right. So what's going on for you right now besides writing? And what's in the future for you?
Well, in the future right now, I'm looking to do more book writing. Like I said, I have some film companies that are looking at the book.
Okay.
I have 3 other books that's lined up already. Once I complete this book and finish the marketing plan and get that book rolling again, I have it's more like a comedy, romance, crime, action movie.
Ooh, wow. Yeah. Can I play it? Okay. I want to be the star. Okay. Before we go, give us your information one more time. How to contact you and the name of the book and some more of that information. Are you on Facebook?
Yes.
Give us give that information one more time.
Okay. The website is richardwills.net. RICHARDWILLS.net. You can get all the information about the book, 77 and Broadway. I also have a Facebook page. You can just type in Facebook, 77 and Broadway. I also have, we'll be on Amazon. Going to Amazon, probably in the next couple of weeks, we'll be doing a big promotion on Amazon. And those are the 3 areas that we're focusing on right now. We're on Goodreads. That's another book place where you can see a lot of books. It's on Goodreads. And also we'll be on Barnes & Noble, and as well as Books and Millions. Matter of fact, we'll probably be out here at Varman too. You know, I'm talking to them about having the book there once the book is published.
Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, my guest has been the man himself, Richard Wills. And it sounds to me as if this is a book that you might want to pick up, because, you know, I'm listening to these stories. I'm going to get a copy, signed copy.
Of course, you got that.
And I want to read it, and I'm going to tell people about it also on my podcast, let them know about it. So, hey, man, thanks a lot for joining us.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you.